Heike was just here. Just your thoughts on him, maybe from last year to this year.
Who?
He wrote on it.
Oh, Hexa. I didn't see him leave. I think it was a little bit of an adjustment for him coming over, going into the USHL. I think they had a great team in Dubuque. I went out there a couple of times. I got to go on the ice with him and his team. It was pretty cool to kind of see a different junior league out at practice and the skill level and the compete. But the language barrier is nothing for him. His English is unreal. He's probably smarter than me. That's why he's going to Harvard. But I think for him, though, the play in the USHL was, I wouldn't say like below him, but the way that he thinks the game. It was. And I think what stood out the most was when he went to the the World Junior up in Ottawa there. It was like that's where his game kind of like really took off. He really opened a lot of eyes. And then when he went back after that, he was always writing me. He's like, "Oh, I'm not finding it. I'm not doing this." And because you get to go play with best on best at your age, and then you're bumping back down a little bit. So I think the next year for him is going to be a great year, playing against some bigger guys. He is a solid kid. So I'm looking forward to going to Harvard, first time ever on that campus. So it'd be pretty cool.
Jack Berglund seemed like he's been really impressive, just the size. And do you guys feel pretty excited about his potential future?
Yeah, you think about that size and down the middle, along with all the other guys that we've drafted. I think with him, it was just kind of like funny the way that they run things over in Sweden. He was on 3 different teams, so he's constantly bouncing around, playing on different teams. I went over there to see him this year, and I didn't even have a plan. So it wasn't really my thing. But when I flew over there, I just jumped on a train. I was going to any 3 city that he might have been playing in. So, but he's a great kid. I'm kind of hoping that he takes that next step and plays in the top league there next year and keeps developing, like other kids have done. Lixell, stayed over there for a number of years and came over and did well. So I think that's kind of the path that we're going with him.
You don't think like the program had any impact on his season? He's he's totally past that.
Oh yeah, he's past that. Yeah, it's all good.
With regards to Cole Knuble, it seems like out there he's making more plays, more confident with the puck in comparison to other development camps. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, I think the first year at Notre Dame, he got off to a slow start, got the snub for Team USA, and then following that, he's been a point per game guy at NCAA, which is big. I wouldn't say Notre Dame goes out and they win every single game either, and he still puts up points. And I think that confidence just really coming out of him now. And he should too. This is his 3rd development camp. He's kind of like the leader being out there. So it's for me watching him and taking those strides right now. It's really fun to watch him play. Like he's the one player that when I go there, I'm like fired up to go to a game. The gold helmets are pretty cool too. Yeah.
Max Westergaard, we talked to earlier. Just what are your impressions of him, and how do you see him kind of like building for the future?
Yeah. He's already playing. Well, he's scheduled to play in the SHL again over there. He could play on 3 teams. But in saying that, he's smaller compared to the other guys we drafted. But then we get out there and we're doing like a little small area game, and he was the first guy to take a run at somebody. So I got pretty excited about that he has that kind of grit and feistiness in him. I do find Finns have that more in them, the style of game that is played over there. So I think that's great. A smaller guy plays, in 5'10", he plays like he's 6'1". But he's only going to grow. He's going to continue to get bigger, stronger. So it's just kind of being patient with those types of guys.
Shane, we're going to talk to Shane Van Syge, I think, soon.
The truck?
I'm sorry?
The truck?
The truck, yeah.
He's big out there.
Yeah. Now you have 2 days watching him. Just how impressive is he? How excited are you to have someone like that coming up through the system now?
Yeah, I really think him and Murtagh are kind of cut from the same cloth a little bit. Big power forward, and I think the biggest thing with them is the types of things that we're doing out there right now, he does them so hard. We always have to try and tell guys, like, pretend you're in a game. But he doesn't pretend. Like, that's just like who he is. So it's like really fun. He caught me by surprise in a couple of the drills how heavy he is. I don't work out every day, so he kind of went right through me pretty good. So I had to take a little breather after. But no, he's awesome. Just getting to know him more is the biggest thing, and building that chemistry with him, that he can come to me with whatever he has going on and stuff like that. So just still working on the trust tree, I guess you'd say it.
Are you all calling him the truck, or is that just your name for him?
That's my name for him, yeah. The Mac truck. Yeah, it's good.
Denver Barkey, I know he's not out here, but what did you think of his season? And I'm not sure what he's dealing with, but I know he hates being off the ice. Is he kind of itching to play right now?
He is. He always comes to me every morning. Hey, do you think you can get me out on the ice? No, you're done. But his season started slow. He missed training camp, being out, and then he goes back and he's off to a slow start. Doesn't make Team Canada again, and he's got that nice little chip on his shoulder of proving people wrong. And I think what he did in the second half, or even during when those guys were gone from London, 4 or 5 guys played on their countries, that he carried that team. Like, they still won every game. He put up points every night, and when those guys came back, I think just having him go out on that note of being the captain, winning again, and just building that confidence within that. So I can definitely tell you that him and Bonk walk around with some pretty good swag around the locker room after doing what they did. Yeah.
Is it related to the high ankle sprain he had in the OHL final? And he did come back from that, but...
Yeah, a little bit of that, just making sure that he's ready once camp starts.
Sorry. I was just curious, like, you have a lot of kids from, like, the local area here. Like, I was talking to AJ Westad. Like, how exciting is it just to have, like, these kids who are just so amped to be here because they're from the area and maybe grew up Flyers fans, and now they're getting a chance?
Yeah, they get a chance to put on the jersey. I think it's pretty cool. I saw just skating out here some family members, and they're coming up and they're banging on the glass. So I think that's a pretty cool moment. There's some other kids even from Quebec that are here, and their families drove down just to watch them. I think it's great for that support and also build more Flyer fans for life. They're constantly trying to grow the game, and I think this is part of it right here.
How does it work? Because I think it was Emil Chenard got a contract last year from being here, or at least signed with Reading or whatever. I can't remember what but, like, I guess, what are you looking for from these guys? Like, are you looking for the possibility of maybe inking him and stuff?
Yeah, like I think the door's always open when it comes to that. That's why you bring them in and you allow them to battle and compete and play in the game at the end to kind of show what they have. And then in doing that too, if they kind of put themselves on the map, it's time when I'm out traveling around watching guys play, maybe you pop in and watch them play, go down and say hi to them after the game, and you kind of keep that door open for them as well. So it's just a great way to get eyes on guys.
It seems like John Stone is running the camp this year. Maybe just describe him a little bit as a coach. We're not in Lehigh.
Yeah.
So, like, what is he like? Coaching style, maybe.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't heard him yell, you have. But I coached against Snowy. He was in Orlando. I was in Wheeling, and I didn't know him at all. And I met him at a game, and he went up to Newfoundland, and he was the head coach there. Then I became the head coach in Maine, and then we battled against each other, and we had some pretty good games. And then when I moved into this spot, he moved into my spot in Lehigh as the assistant coach. And it was pretty cool that we never really met, but we were always like texting each other, talking on the phone and stuff like that about different styles of gameplay and everything. But having him here and his mind for development, which is a big part of what we're going to do with the Phantoms, is it helps me out a ton. And then on the other side, I help him out a ton because we think the game the same way. We also had the new Reading Royals coach out here today running practice, and it allows a lot, not only developing the players, but allowing the coaches to get out there, run some practices. We had Kara run a practice, and then we had the Reading coach run a practice today, these two. So I think just having that, and it's building that experience, right? They get out on the ice and they're like, okay, and you have Danny and Jonesy and Alan, everybody's watching and they're nervous. So it kind of allows them to develop as coaches as well. And that's what we kind of use this camp for, is to include everybody. It's just not my show out on the ice. I like to have everybody involved and everybody has a part of it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.